Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. September 16th, it goes down. Save the date. Canelo versus Gennady Golovkin. Hey, this is a fight we've been asking for as a public, as fans. It's a great fight. It's a middleweight fight. There's no catch weights, no rehydration clause. I don't really care how much money they're making. I mean, I hope they get a pretty penny for the fight, but other than that, I'm just happy as a fan. A lot of people in this current climate of boxing, they get sidetracked on who's making what and stuff. I talk about it, but unless they're going to deposit some of it into my bank account, it don't really matter to me. So I'm glad they worked out the split, the percentage, flat rate, whatever they decided. But hey, we got to fight. Now, the clip you seen at the beginning is I was born ready, Canelo Alvarez, and the kid is in shape, man. This is what I really like about Canelo Alvarez, because after the Mayweather loss, where some guys tend to kind of fade or like, man, I had this big opportunity and they regress and stuff, Canelo's definitely improved, man. And he looks good at the weight, over 160 pounds. I think his stamina will probably be better at the regular 160, because that was a radical weight jump. That's, if you look at it, Canelo's the only person, albeit his opponent was probably, you know, he had some weight issues in the past, so even though his opponent was coming down, he's the only one in recent memory in the last couple of years that jumped up major profile, high profile fights I'm talking about, that jumped up like double-digit pounds and put on that type of performance, right? Guys like Broner, he jumped up 2 weight classes, a little bit more, but he had a split decision with Paulie Malignaggi, and he was like losing those early rounds. You look at Kell Brook, he did good in spots versus Golovkin, jumped up 2 weight classes, but came up short. Amir Khan fought Canelo, came up short, jumped up, no rehydration clause. So Canelo's the only one I could really think of in high profile fights recently that jumped up and put out, like, pitched a shutout and looked that dominant. Like I said, obviously you have to consider that Chavez Jr. was coming down, but nonetheless, the fight's over. We've seen it. Wasn't really worth it, but Canelo excelled and he looked good at the weight. So him dropping the 4.5 pounds, I think, will do him well versus Golovkin, and he's going to be put to the test. That's a good fight in September. Like I said, he bombed out Chavez Jr. I posted a video about him. He's post-fight. They're showing him in a room with a bunch of females, and now they're saying he was robbed and poisoned. Someone slipped him a Mickey. In the words of Eminem, spiked the punch at the party and drank pop. Bad boy, I told you that I can't stop. So I don't know what's up with that, with Chavez Jr. now claiming robbery, or he was drugged up, or like I told you, Bill Cosby, it's the roofies and the pudding after the Canelo fight. He beat me, hit me with the 1-2 and the uppercut. Oh, the pudding. So I don't know what's up with the roofies and all that other stuff, but fight's over, and we have a great fight to look forward to. And this is what separates Canelo, and this is why he claimed the stake as the best Mexican fighter currently active, biggest name, right? This whole Canelo Chavez Jr. was supposed to be the battle to see who was the big bad wolf from Mexico out of all the active fighters. And if you pitch a shutout, then you win. You know what I mean? This was supposed to, they called it the Civil War. Canelo Chavez, right? They did all this, and this is why. This is why Canelo, the clip you seen at the beginning, this is why he's the man right now. This is why he's the A side. This is why he's on top. This is why he claimed the bragging rights for all of Mexico, because he's more disciplined. Guys like Chavez Jr., I mean, I really feel Chavez Jr. had a shot. I really do, but not with that performance. You got to throw punches to win a fight. So, I mean, without that, then, I mean, you're up shit's creek without a paddle. So, this is what I like about Canelo. At a young age, he's younger than a lot of fighters, and he's been through more than a lot of fighters. You know, I mean, fighting Floyd Mayweather, that's like legendary experience. Win, lose, or draw. I mean, well, everyone's lost to Floyd, but you guys get what I'm saying. That's just stepping in the ring with Floyd. That's experience that you could apply yourself in and improve from. You know what I mean? Okay, what did I do wrong in this fight? Things like that. Floyd shows some tricks and different looks and stuff, and you could take that with you. And he's also fought Miguel Cotto, a certain Hall of Famer, Edison Lara. It was a tricky fight. I had Lara winning by a round or two, but Lara didn't do himself favors with kind of the backpedaling and dropping off of his offense. And you go up against the A side with that type of performance, and then if you would have did a little bit more of what he was doing in the first round, just clearly outboxing and pinpoint accuracy with his offense, then there wouldn't have been no question. But you kind of leave it up to interpretation in a close fight, and you know they'll probably give it to the A side, or if you're fighting a UK fighter in the UK, they'll probably give it to him in a close fight. So you got to make your mark, and when you sign up for those fights, you got to know that. So bottom line though, Canelo, I like his discipline. He's in shape, and he's going to need to be in shape and top condition and just working in training camp and stuff. He was medically cleared to fight in September. It's customary that they do the post and pre-fight medical exams just to make sure. The UFC does them too, and a lot of times you'll see in the UFC, since it's such a brutal sport with small gloves, sometimes the guys get on like a medical ban, suspension for like 90 days after the fight because they sustain a knockout or an injury or whatnot. So pretty customary, but he's cleared to go. Looks like he's staying in shape. He looked good at the weight to me. He looked sharp. I understand Chavez Jr. didn't really give and provide much resistance, but you can't take away from what Chavez Jr. or you can't take away just because Chavez Jr. didn't provide, you can't take away from what Canelo did do, because a lesser fighter than Canelo, like let's say it was Brian Vera, then that fight could have still been close, even with that Chavez. There was a reason he was gun shy in there, and it wasn't just weight, because the weight, like I could understand being a little bit more lethargic or you can't get off, but he was still throwing some shots in the first couple of rounds, like the first 3 rounds, I want to say. He was still throwing some pretty hard shots, and then slowly but surely that fight got taken away from him, and he didn't kind of respond right, and he just kind of dropped off totally with the offense. So, I mean, clearly it had to be something Canelo was doing. And I don't buy this, oh, he never hurt me and stuff, because to me, when fighters do that, that's a cop-out. And that actually makes you look worse, because if you're in there with the smaller guy who just moved up 10.5 pounds and they are not hurting you, then why aren't you going after him? You know what I mean? That's just like when people say, oh, Floyd ran though. He ran like a chicken, bro. Like, no. If he's running, then you could stop the running. You know what I mean? Hit him hard to the body. Use your size advantage. They say, oh, he's pillow-fisted Floyd and stuff like that, but he's clearly doing something that's making you hesitate, just like Canelo Chavez. Chavez was clearly hesitant and timid. His father, his own father, who is a fighter and a legend, said the same thing. He said, my son didn't want to get knocked out. He was afraid to throw. We were just like imploring him, throw your punches. And most people thought if he was the fighter that he showed us in the past, like, that he would have a chance of just being too big. But that was out the window, and you can't take that from Canelo. Canelo was in there doing something that made Chavez react a certain way. You know what I mean? It's a chain reaction. It's cause and effect. For every action, there's a reaction. And Canelo's just sweet in there. You know what I mean? But against Golovkin, he really has to be sweet, because Golovkin's not going to go out like that. Golovkin's not going to go out like, you know what I mean, like a punk, or not throwing punches and say he was roofied. He's not going to do that. Hey, no, guys, they roofied. No, he's not going to do that. So it's a good fight, man. September, it goes down. They're still working on the venue. There's a rematch clause for Canelo only. And this is what's making the young man successful, is because he's applying himself post-loss, his only official loss to Floyd Mayweather. He's keeping his weight down in between fights. He's living the fighter lifestyle. I've seen him riding a bike. He's doing, as you've seen in the beginning clip, he's doing the underwater, like water aerobics or whatever he's doing, shadow boxing underwater. This is what legends are made of, and part of it is the work ethic. I look at pretty much every legendary person, and there's similarities. There's almost always similarities in terms of, like, look at the greatest, like Floyd Mayweather, look at Tupac, you know what I mean, just different, whatever, the Beatles, and you'll see what made the Beatles successful. They had a lot of songs. Tupac had a lot of songs. Floyd Mayweather has this crazy work ethic. Will Smith talks about work ethic. Go watch the YouTube motivational videos with Will Smith, you know what I mean? And it's just like all these people, big names and legendary names, there's certain similarities you can draw. A lot of them were innovators, and they did things their own way, took risks, and work ethic is a big one. So Canelo's clearly on his way to becoming one of boxing's biggest legends, especially if he beats Golovkin in a convincing fashion. You know what I mean? And it starts with the work ethic and what you do pre-fight, how you build up for the fight. That's my thoughts. I like what I see from Canelo. He's dedicated and he's trying, and that's all I could ask from a fighter. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.